Happy Kaiju-Lai, my friends. I'm so very excited to be sharing this with you today. We have Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the trade paperback. How cool is this? We're going to look at the whole series today. This book is so much fun. I picked it up as single issues when it was originally coming out. So I got issue 1. I got issue 2. And man, I love this cover so much with the evil Zillion right there. So cool. We get issue 3. This is really radical with all those monsters there, both the Toho Kaiju and the Rita creations. And this one's really radical. I love this issue 4. Look at how small they look down there compared to King Ghidorah. So awesome. And then we got the issue 5 right there. Man, that is so cool. I had so much fun reading this series as it was first coming out. I loved it so much. And I got a special treat if you wait for after the video to show you something. It's so cool, but we're going to go through the whole series first in the trade paperback format. This book is so radical. It's written by Cullen Bunn, who I'm sure has to be a super fan with how well he wrote all the characters. Like, their dialogue feels like it's directly each person is each person. You know, they don't get too much screen time comparatively because there's so many, but every character, monsters and the hero cast, feel in line with what I know about Power Rangers. And man, I love how evil Rita is in this too. Everything's just kicked up a notch, and the artwork is so good. And this is by Freddy Williams, and he just kicks this thing's ass because every page looks so awesome. I'm loving this kick right here. That's so dope. And Rita's looking really menacing down here. I really like that. I like that we even get Scorpina in on the action in this book. It is so fun. But as you can see, since we're reading this through the trade paperback, I can't let go of the page or it's going to flop over like this. I really wish this book had gotten a decent hardcover release, and maybe if that was the case, it would have had that nice sewn binding and it would lay more flat. But it's nice having the whole thing in one book instead of having to peel out each of the issues from my little plastic sleeves and slide them in and out and all that and dig it out of the long box. But look at this page right here where we see Godzilla tearing into Megalon. That's so cool. Man, that would be a dope page to have like some original artwork of. And I love how dope Goldar looks right down there too. Like, every page is filled with so much detail. The writing is phenomenal, and this tells a very tight, cohesive story. It's just, you know, Rita gets a hold of this mystical gem that lets her transport between realities. She ends up transporting herself and the Green Ranger into this reality where there are no Power Rangers, but there is Godzilla and the Toho creatures. So she ends up meeting up with the Zillions, and we get a fun team up between her and the wonderful bad guys from the Godzilla franchise. And we get this awesome fight between the Dragon Zord and Godzilla right here in the first issue. So awesome. Great standoff. I love this here too, where Rita's trying to use her powers to mind control Godzilla, but he's just too strong. Can't do it. And this is great where the Green Ranger, he's commenting on how it's time for some firepower, and he shoots out his little hand missiles. He don't know what he just unleashed. Because wait till we turn this page here. Yeah! Look at that! So cool! Love that. He just picks him up, and he's about to toss him too. But then we get this great reveal at the end where the rest of the Power Ranger team ends up finding where they transported to and zipping through dimensions with Zordon's magic. Now, I actually, oh, here's this really cool alternate cover. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the coloring that's really throwing this off for me, because the artwork itself looks great, but something about the shading and the faces, it just has this weird uncanny valley. I'm not feeling Rita's face there. Sorry, EJ Sue. I've liked a lot of your other stuff, and that one looks cool. It's the coloring I think's throwing it off. But yeah, here we get a virgin version of that second cover, and I love that so much. That is so radical. Godzilla looks awesome. We get representation of the two of the big bads from each franchise, and the Power Rangers are all just falling down, defeated. It's so cool. But this kicks off with the Zords fighting Godzilla. They're just in their regular Dino modes, and we right off the bat go to Megazord mode, which does make sense. That's how it usually happens. But I would have liked to have seen the Dinozords fight a little bit more myself. I would have liked a little bit more Dinozord action. But that's really my only complaint about this book. The pacing is fantastic. It's just non-stop action, an excuse to give us what we want and give us the coolest clash you can imagine. And by the end of this series, we see a ton of Toho monsters brawling with the Power Rangers, which is just a joy. But right here, we're getting a Godzilla versus Megazord fight, which is great, but like they're both really thrashing each other bad, and that's just going to leave them weak for the real bad guys later, so that's no good. Because you know by the end of this series, they're going to team up. I love the attention this artist did. Like, everyone looks so good, and I didn't comment on it in the previous issue where we saw them all in the center there with Zordon, but I just want to comment right here where we see them demorphed and all the various characters. Everybody looks exactly how they should, but just a little bit cartoony, more expressive, more comic booky and distinctive, and I very much like it a lot. It's just so good. Everyone is so recognizable, but still they have their own unique charm to how they're illustrated here. I don't know. I love this dude's artwork so much, and these are my two favorite franchises colliding together, and it's just such a joy. It's everything I ever wanted since I was like, what, 8, 9 years old? It's so cool. And I love this bit too, where they're running and morphing there at the same time. That just looks rad. It's not quite how we do it in the show, but it's still radical. Or should I say more phenomenal? Oh, so silly. Yeah, I'm loving how mean she's looking right there too. So fun. And this is great right here with the introduction of Gigan and him flying down and terrorizing this fairgrounds. So cool. And I love the Rangers here in this one panel as they're zooming down, calling for the Dinozords. And this page right here too is so good. I'm going to bring this up. I love this panel just with all the Dinozords coming up at Gigan. That's so radical. Yeah. This whole page is so good, though. Both pages, really. This is a great fight. But then, boom. More Rita monsters showing up to team up with Gigan, and I don't know if the Megazord is going to be able to stand a chance. And what great monsters to choose, too. Especially the eye guy. He's always been a favorite design of mine. He's so freaky and gross. Him and the Snizzard, who we actually see in another issue here, which is really cool. This is a great variant cover. I like this a lot. It's so cool. But here we go. I mean, look at this cover right here. We saw it earlier at the beginning, but look at this without any of the text on it. It's just so cool. All the Toho monsters there. So radical. I love that, just the team up. And I love that it's all the we got the creepy crawly Toho monsters there too. But yeah, Godzilla's just looking like a beast there. Issue starts, we're right smack dab in the middle of that fight. And boom! What a double page. That's so cool. I'm loving that. I'm loving that so much. Oh, radical. And this is something I love about this book is I'm not like reading everything aloud, but every character has their little moments where they quip and they say a thing, and it just very much feels like an actual episode of Power Rangers, how everyone talks to each other. It's just amped up a little and a little bit more comic booky as far as the pacing of the dialogue, but it's just a joy. And of course, Rita does have Tommy here and is trying to work her evil magic on him, and that has him out of commission and out of the story for a bit of the comic here, so we can have a bit more at stake. This is a great page with all the different monsters there, and Rita talking about her plan to betray the Zillions and take control of all the monsters herself, and go from reality to reality, taking each one over. Now, I grew up with alternate dimensions and different realities and stuff being a thing in my fiction, but it really seems like that is a huge thing in absolutely everything now, and it used to be just kind of a little bit of a offshoot sliver here and there. So I don't know, maybe that's just me noticing a trend. It's sort of like how zombies were everywhere for a good 10 years. So I wonder what's up with that, but it's a classic comic book trope, and I don't hold it against it for them using that in this book here. And we've seen alternate dimensions in Power Rangers as well, so it makes total sense. But man, what a cool page this is. I was about to flip it, but then I was like, nah, let's linger just a little bit more, because this Godzilla looks so radical. I'm digging it. It's just, this book brings out all the best vibes in me. Oh, watch out. You'll have to excuse me there. Had a little bit of a slip across the room there. Man, this is so cool. Power Rangers just use their power sword to blast Godzilla with all their energy to power him up. And look at, he's going full on Super Saiyan right there. Like that's just so cool. And I love that we're just smack dab in the middle of the book, so I can actually let it go and it'll stay open itself. But we get another issue in and it's going to fold in on itself. But man, let's look at this double page right here. I love it because they're each going after the other guy's monster. We got the Megazord blasting Gigan with his head blaster there. We got Godzilla using his atomic breath on the Eye Guy monster. And it's just so cool. And we can see Rita's not having it. She's not happy at all. But Scorpina's gonna run in there and take care of things, or so she thinks. But this is a great cliffhanger. What a way to end the issue with Scorpina right there, and then we get all these wonderful creepy crawly Toho creatures. We got a Kamunga, a Kamunculus, and a Megagurus. That's pretty radical. Yeah. Oh. I would say we don't stand a chance, but shoot, there's the Power Rangers and Godzilla, so I think we'll be alright. Before I flip the page, let's look at this alternate cover. That's real rad. I dig it. Not too much detail in the background, but I like that we see the Ferris wheel there, getting just a faint idea of a location. But what a cool looking Clash. And then we get that main cover right there on the other side. That looks so good. But again, issue kicks off. We're in the middle of that fight. Really, it's all been one big fight. It's just been continuous this whole time, which is okay by me because that's what we're here for. We're here for pages like this. How cool is that? Oh, so radical. So more phenomenal. Jesus. That's so dumb. I love that. Just smashing everything with his tail. I love seeing Rita angry. But then we get the King Ghidorah. Monster Zero. Oof. So big. I love it when he's portrayed so much bigger than Godzilla. I love just seeing that size difference, and when you're doing it in comic book form, you can really play with that a lot more than you can with the suitmation type stuff. So I very much appreciate that. Yes, it's such a great fight. We got the monster stuff going on here, but we're always cutting back to the main characters too, seeing what's going on with the bad guys and the good guys, and I appreciate that so much. This feels a little cheap to me, especially rereading it, because you just notice things more on a reread as opposed to doing the month by month, anxiously awaiting the next issue. But this right here where Tommy was given his power coin back by one of the Zillions, I just thought the Zillion's excuse for why he was doing it was a little weak. But I get that, you know, he didn't want to be actually teaming up with Rita, and she was bringing them down, so to speak, you know, pulling them under with her. But still, like, there's a better way to do it than, you know, giving the Green Ranger his powers back. But it gets him back in the game, and we get great team up. And as I said too, we were going to see this guy later, and sure enough, we got our Snizzard there. I love that dude. He's so cool. And look at how big Ghidorah is compared to them. But this is so great. And then we get this right here where Rita's summoning all her monsters to fight Ghidorah, because Ghidorah is so powerful that nobody can handle him. Very cool. I very much dig this right here, this alternate cover. Like, this is just so cool. I love the split there, just right down the middle, and the mirror of Godzilla and the Dragon Zord. It's just so cool, because I mean the Dragon Zord is just a Zord of Godzilla after all. And we have this main cover right here too, which is so cool. And all three of them teaming up against that giant Ghidorah. Whew. Yeah, this book delivers on non-stop action with great character beats. I highly recommend it. I've bought it like 3 times over. I got the single issues. I got the trade paperback. And as you're going to see at the very end of this video when we get done going through it page by page, I picked up the special variant covers, which is something I never do. But I had to do it for this series. If I was ever going to do it for any series, it's this right here. The Godzilla Power Ranger crossover. Oh, and look at this tussle. I'm telling you, this guy draws monsters and mecha like nobody's business. But all the people look good too. Look at the expression on Goldar's face right there. That is so wonderful. So cool. Man, I love it. And then, of course, we got to power up, right? And I tell you, when they do, man, this blasting on this next page is so radical. So awesome. So dope. It is beyond measure. Look at that. They are frying Ghidorah. They're going to be having crispy Ghidorah wings for dinner. I love it so much. It's so cool. And look at that vicious and victorious Godzilla screonking there, just like a boss. Godzilla just looking so cool. Ghidorah just crumpled on the ground. And of course, the baddies zap out of there using the dimensional crystal they had, but unfortunately it shattered when they fell, so who knows what happened with them. Zordon's going to use his magic to transport the Rangers back. I love this standoff right here where we see Godzilla and the Rangers right there, and then we have the big faces on the side. That's so cool. I love that framing device, framing sequence, whatever you call that. It's sick. And look at Godzilla right here. So cool. And again, I love how this guy draws all the different Rangers. They look exactly like they should, but a cartoon version of them, a comic version of them, just a little bit exaggerated, you know, but all unique and recognizable. I love that. Although I will say everyone has such luscious hair, even more so than the show, like, for real. But looking so cool. I love the way he does Zordon too. Just the glowing head. That can look really hokey or goofy depending on how you do it. And I've seen some illustrations of him in the main Boom Power Ranger comic that look a little off to me, but he looks perfect. Just great. All the Rangers do. So do all the Toho Kaiju. All the Ranger monsters. Everything looks so good. And we see here Rita and her guys are lost in the multi-dimensional gateway, what have you. And we see the cracks in all the mirrors of different versions of Sentai teams or Ranger teams. And we see different versions and interpretations of Godzilla throughout his franchise. And that's so much fun and opens up the door for a lot later, which we do see in the second miniseries that's come out. Issue 3 has come out at this point, but not issue 4 yet. This right here, I love this alternate cover so much. I looked into it trying to track that down when it came out, but I couldn't find it for anything less than 40, and I'm not looking to play that sort of game. But what a great looking cover it is, and I'm glad that I'm able to see all the artwork in the trade paperback. So that's wonderful. Yeah, some fantastic alternate covers. This is really cool right here, this double pager. That is just something else. Everyone's looking so good. Ooh, yeah. Just all the details. Oh, and then that Godzilla, they're just about to fry it. Oh, so cool. And then we get this great stuff here where we see the sketches and the character designs, all the different facial expressions for Godzilla. This is so much fun. And then we get this lineup of the Rangers there. Excuse me bumping the camera. So very cool. Yeah, like that's just so radical, and like totally looks just like Jason too. And that Billy's great. He's super cute there. This is a really good Trini. Great Kim. Yeah, man, this guy just nailed the designs of all the different creatures in here. But hold on a sec, because I got something real fun to show you. Ah, check it out. I got the variant connecting covers. I had to drive out of town for about an hour to get to a comic shop that carried these. But I found one that was carrying them, and they held them for me. So I picked them up month by month, and man, it's just the coolest. It's so awesome. Look at this here. Like, what an awesome piece of artwork. It's so big, like it hangs off of both sides of my reading desk. Like, I gotta really zoom out, like crazy zoom out. So cool. I love it so much. I love this series so much. It's just everything I could want. The writing is spot on. It's the artwork, it just blows my mind. It's one of my favorite reads I've ever gone through. It nails everything perfectly. So nothing but love. 10 out of 10 lawn flamingos. That's my highest rating I go. But this goes even higher. 11 lawn flamingos. I love this thing so much. And I had so much fun going through and rereading this book. And then flipping through it again for this video here. Such a joy. Don't really ever need an excuse to read this one, but I'm happy to have one. So what a better way to wash out yesterday's Kaiju Live than today's, huh? And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.